So hey guys, and welcome to this YouTube video. And in this video, we're actually going to be talking about for loops. And when we're talking about looping, we're talking about iterating. And when we're talking about iterating, we're talking about repeating certain process. That means repeating a process a set amount of times. So without wasting much of the time, let's actually get started. So how do we actually create a for loop? We use the for keyword, then we put some parentheses. Let me actually write these things down, what we put in here, then I'll explain later on. It's just a hyphen I plus. Okay. So what have I actually done here? So I started off by declaring a variable I, which is equal to 0, which means that's our starting value. And then we have what is known as a condition here. So our for loop is to run as long as this condition is true, or this condition is satisfied, right? And then we have what is known as an increment, which is we are incrementing this variable, right? Like that, whenever if we keep on incrementing it, or we can actually decrement it, whatever we want to do with the process that we want to do, then means until it has actually got on to a point where this condition is not satisfied, then this for loop will break. I hope that was actually a decent explanation. So let's actually have to see it practically here. So just want to put in the value of I to the screen so that you get to understand what's happening here, right? So if I print the value of I, let's see what's actually going to happen. Okay, now we going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Our starting value is 0, right? Then what happens? Is 0 less than 5? Yes, it is less than 5. We go on and print 0. Then we come back here, we have I plus plus. That is, we are incrementing our value, right? It means now I is at 1. When I is at 1, we go on to check if this condition is satisfied. I is less than 5, which means 1 is less than 5, right? Then the condition is satisfied, and then we come on and print 1. We go on again to here. Now we are incrementing 1, right? We now have 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes, 2 is less than 5. Then we print 2. We increment again. We now have 3. Is 3 less than 5? Yes, it is. We increment again. We now have 4. And then is 4 less than 5? Yes, it is. We go on and print 4. And then we increment again. We now have 5. Then we check this condition. Is 5 less than 5? No. 5 is actually equal to 5. So that condition is not met or is not satisfied. So stop there. We do not go on and print 5. So we remain with this. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just like that. Alright. So we can actually use some external variables. Let's say we have a variable called x like this. And then let's put 10 here, which means we can actually say when I add actually 5 there, I can actually put x. And then if I run this, guess what happens? We're going to print from 0 to 9, right? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 9, like that. Let's put another variable. Let's say probably y is actually equal to 0. And then let's say whenever we are actually iterating, right, we need to add 1 to the value of y. So which is y is equals to what? Y plus 1, like that. So what do we actually have to get there? All right, so let's go on. After printing all of this, I do not want this. Let's say go on to here, and then we have y like this. So let's run this and guess what we are actually going to get. What is the value of y? All right, we have 10, right? So what happened? Whenever we are iterating from this, we are adding, not writing actually, but we are adding 1 to the value of y. So we are going to say this is actually y is equals to, so at first it's going to be like y is equals to 0 is 0 plus 1, and then the next time they have y is actually going to be 1 plus 1, like this. So it will be actually 2, and then we go on like that until we reach a point where we actually get 10 like this. So on looping, we can actually loop inside of an array or something that can actually be iterable like that one. So like that one is such, but anyways, let's go on to declare a variable to say int, let's say a equals to, right, put this like this, and then we have parentheses. Let me actually remove some things from here, and then we have 1 2 3 4, and then 6 7, then something like this, right? Now we have an array, right, named a, an array of integers. So we can literally declare a for loop. Let's go on to say int x is equals to 0, and then let's go on to x is less than. Okay, so firstly here, let's start by counting this. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We have 7 items in here, so let's go on to like this, and then let's put x plus plus, then, right. So what I'm actually going to do is going to print the value of each element in that array. So we're going to do a and then x like this, and then guess what happens if I run this? Okay, let's see. We have 1 2 3 4 6 7 and 9, actually printing the values from this array. Now let's see, if I remove a value from this array, what's going to happen here? Yes, because the video and actually guess what will happen here. All right, you see we have 1 2 3 4 6 7, and then our program crashed. We have an index 6 out of bounds for length 6, means an out of bounds what exception, right? Because here firstly we actually had counted, right, to say we have 7 elements, but now we no longer have 7 elements, we now have 6 elements. So the way we can solve this kind of problem that I actually showed you is by getting the length of the array by doing this, right? That means here we actually have 6 elements, right? So by doing a dot length, we actually get 6. And if I put some values in here, say, let me just go on and put some kind of values like this, right? When we do a dot length, you actually get the length of the whole array. Not to say when you add an element to the array, then you actually go on to change the value which we had here. Let's print this and actually see what's going to be printed out to the screen, right? See, we have let me something like this. We have 3 4 6 7 6 8 5 5 6 2 38, like that. So let's actually check and see. Let's say we want to add, right? So we want to find the sum of this array by doing, let's do int, then we have y is equals to 0, like that one, and then what do we have to do? We have to say y equals to what we had in y plus the value of a at the position x, like that one, like this. And we can actually shorten this, right, by doing actually plus equal to, like this. Then at the end we have to print it out to the screen like this, value of y. So let's run this and see what we are actually going to get, which is the sum of this array. It is 93. So whatever we have in here, if we add it, we should get 93, just like that. All right, so there's another type of a for loop that I'm actually going to show you here, which is a for each, right? So what do we actually have to do when you're dealing with a for each? We write for, then we put each like this, and then let's declare we have int, then we have I like this. You put a colony, and then the array we're actually going to be using like this, and then what happened? Let's actually not like this. I don't want to do. Okay, we go back to here, right? This is what I had. Okay, so I actually had written for each. It's not for each, but like for like this. I don't know what I was actually doing here, right? So what happens? Let's go on to say system dot out dot print ln, and then let's print I. See what we are going to get. So when we print I, so we have 1, 2, 3 up to the element that we have 38, like that one. But the only there's a reason what you can say actually a drawback when using this for each like in Java, because we actually do not have a counter to say the index of the element that we have. So to keep track of the index, we need to use an outside variable like this, and then whenever we iterate, we put x equals to 1 like this. Let's actually go on to put it at the end like this, or at first it's actually the same thing. And let me actually go on to move this, because I only need to print value of x. To print the value of x from here, what actually happens? Take the value of x. All right, so the value of x is 13. What is it? Let's actually count this physically. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we have 13 elements in our array, right? So for the index, let's go on to say, let's print on what? X, right? So if we print x in here, like this one, what is actually going to happen here? We are going to get from 0 up to 12. Why? Because we start the index from 0, right? Print 0, then we increment our x, then we go on to the next one, we print 1, we increment that one, is now 2, increment again up until we get 12, because we have 13 elements, right? So the index is the length of the upper bound index that you can actually go on to get from what we talked in our last video. You can actually get the upper bound of that is the length minus 1, which means we have 13 elements, and then upper bound index is 12. So with that being said, that has been my 8 for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Your feedback is really, really important. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to share it with someone who might find it helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that, and I will see you in another YouTube video.